to do here is, I think it might be YouTube history. It's going to go down in history because on this song, you're going to help me sing it. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a song. Here we go. I'll show it to you here. Get you the feel for it. Okay, it's going to start out like that, and here's the words. Okay, I got whiskers on my chin, and my pad is kind of messy. I'm always feeling good, 'cause I pay my rent on time, 'cause I pay my rent on time. Okay, here comes the chorus. Okay, here we go. Because I'm a man, yes I am, and I can't help but love you so. No, 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 no. Okay, girls can sing. I got makeup on my chin, and my pad is kind of messy. I'm always feeling good, 'cause I pay my rent on time, 'cause I'm a woman. Okay, here we go. Now, we're going to start. Now, if you forgot the words, make something up. That's what I always do, just make it up. Now, when we get done with this, and I go back and look at the recording, I'm going to listen, and I'm going to see how well you did, okay? This is going to be a first. Periodically, I'll see, okay? I'll hear it. Okay, here we go. Whiskers up. Okay. Okay, I'm a man, so I play that kind of bad too. But I want to thank Wes for showing me that song. Okay, so now we're going to talk about this music and the sound business. Now, music is a big deal. Sound is a big deal. You know, we take it for granted. It's all around us. But it's a big, big deal. You know, if you look at the cultures of the East, they chant and the ubiquitous and they contact their inner self, and they contact the cosmos. And the Indians of North America, they chant and sing to their deceased relatives. It's big, it's important to them. In the Western civilization here, we have these huge these cathedrals. They're built in this shape to give resonance to their sound, the music. The music reaches the heavens. Music is important, you know. Sound. Some of the modern archaeologists think that these ancient monoliths, like 100 tons, how did they move that? How did the ancients move those? And people think now that maybe sound was the key thing. They used sound to move these objects, levitate these objects. You know, sound. It's like the Bible, the walls of Jericho, with the help of the Ark of the Covenant, they sounded the trumpets. The trumpets blew, and the walls of Jericho came down. So sound is a big deal. Now, if we look at current theories about the cosmos and the matter and about how things are connected, there's a theory called the string theory. The string theory was very popular several years ago, but it's been revitalized. It's very important. It's at the basis of modern physics. It's right on the cutting edge. And string theory is about a string, like a string on a violin or a guitar. And these strings vibrate with different frequencies. We got to, and all of matter, all of the universe is connected together by way of the string theory. It's amazing when you think about it. And so we're going to talk about, well, we're not going to talk about it, we're just going to do it, okay? But the string theory, we could talk a lot about it, but we don't want to talk about it. We got to see Gabriel's Trumpet, okay? That's what we're doing this for. So sound is a big deal. And so let's move on to another subject here. I'm going to play maybe another song to kind of set the stage. And here goes. I'll move that one up too. So anyway, that's a Beatles song you might recognize. Now the Beatles, to me, are one of the great bands of all time. As a matter of fact, I often say there are two great bands in the world. There's the Beatles and there's everybody else. But there are a lot of great bands, of course. The Beatles, so here, let me tell you an example here. Once I visited China. I've visited there several times, but one time I went to visit my daughter. My wife and I visited my daughter, and she taught English at university in Beijing, China. And during our visit, she would have the students ask us questions in English, and we'd have a conversation with the students. That was part of the class. In one of her classes, one of the students stood up and he said, "Jack, will you sing a song with me?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'll give it my best, yeah. I'll do my best. I'm not a singer," I said to myself, "but I'll do my best." And I said, "Well, what song would you like to sing?" And he said, "I would like to sing a Beatles song." So here we are in communist China, old Jack from Manorville, Minnesota, singing with this gentleman from probably Beijing, China, a song written by the Beatles in Liverpool, England. And imagine that. That is so amazing. I can still see it today. And so we sang the song. And I didn't do very bad. He was a pretty good singer. But just think of that. Now, whenever you hear Paul McCartney sing Yesterday, you might want to think about me and my friend from Beijing. It's a beautiful song. Mm-hmm. I don't want me to talk about the Beatles, but that's kind of one of the examples how transformative their music is throughout the world. Okay, now let's just take a look at the trumpet. Okay, we're going to take a look at the trumpet. Now this trumpet has really been hard for me to build. I've spent hours on the trumpet. And the thing is, when you do these sculptures, 10% of your time are building the clay, working with the clay, but the other 10% or 90% of the time is thinking about it in your head. What are you going to do? How do you change it? What's going to happen? What are we going to do to make it better? Well, during this process, I dropped the horn. I dropped dropped the Gabriel's Trumpet. I dropped it, and it was in 7 pieces plus a lot of tiny pieces. And then I had it all back together again, and then I dropped it a second time. And then so, what am I going to do? So I have a good friend that tells me, he says, things happen for a purpose, Jack. Don't worry about it. Things are going to be okay. They happen for a purpose. And I said, you're right. Things happen for a purpose. In this big gouge in my trumpet is going to remind me of my brokenness. I'm broken, like we're all broken. And there it is. That's the purpose. Now, you don't need to look at the trumpet so much anymore. You can come over and look at me, because the trumpet's pretty sad. I tried my hardest to do a good job, okay? I worked on it, and Gabriel deserves better, okay? This is what she gets. I put my heart in this thing. But that's about Gabriel. Now, we're going to talk more about the trumpet, and we're going to talk more about Gabriel. Time's not running out, but we're going to keep going. The camera's rolling. We've got to keep going. We're just nonstop. It's like Saturday Night Live, but it's Thursday morning live right here. So now I'm going to, I think what I'll do is I'll play you the greatest rock song in the history of the world. And I'm going to try to play it. I don't know how well I'm going to play it. I maybe just talk about it. I'm not doing so good. But here's the deal. This rock song is about a lady who buys a stairway to heaven. She's trying to buy a stairway to heaven. And when she gets there, stores are closed. Damn it. But she's, I don't know what she's doing. But she sees a sign. And the sign, she's bewildered by the sign. She's confused because she says, signs, words, the same words can have different meaning. It's hard. So, but she's told that, listen, there's 2 paths. There's 2 paths you can take. And you can always take the right path. It's not too late. And throughout the song, there's so many symbols. There's Christian symbols, and there's other symbols throughout the song. The lyrics are so incredibly haunting. It's just an amazing piece. But in the end, I think she figures it out. I mean, I can only hope that she figures it out, in the end. But what the song tells me, and I think what's important about this song, is we have 2 paths to take. We can take the path of righteousness, or we can take the path of materialism. And when I hear this, I'm reminded of Plato's allegory of the cave. You can be like the caver who delights in the shadows. He loves it. He delights in it. Or you can break the chains, break free from the cave, break free from the shadows, and see the world, see the beautiful world as it is. Music and colors and nature, it's all there for us. So take that path. Take the path led by the Holy Spirit. Don't take the path led by materialism. So that's what that song tells me. Now the song, why is this the great song it is? The reason it's so good, as I said before, the lyrics are just amazingly haunting. The singing is so good. The musicality is so breathtaking. It starts off so delicate, and it keeps going, and then there's this end, proclaiming the guitar solo. The guitar solo is like the best guitar solo in the history of rock and roll. It's not so flamboyant like a lot of them are. This thing is, man, it's got it. And the drums on the end, it's got everything. It's got drums, guitar solo, lyrics, and it's so good. And that's the Stairway to Heaven. That's the legendary song by the Led Zeppelin. Now I'm going to try to play it for you, okay? I just taught this song to myself here a couple weeks ago, and it's probably going to be pretty rough. And it's going to sound like what I just tried to play here just these last few minutes. But let's give it a shot and see what I can do. sorry. Okay, so that's a song, Stairway to Heaven. And if you haven't heard it, tune into it, and all you old rockers revisit it. So that's a great song, and the music is so good, and sound is all part of it. Now, the mathematician Pythagoras showed back in the, he's an ancient Greek mathematician. That all comes back to Greek philosophers and Greek mathematicians. He said, he's the first guy that showed the relationship between the waves of sound and music, and how music can be predicted and can be moved in different groups and different. There's a term I'm trying to think of, but I can't. But it's can be mathematical. He showed how music is mathematical. The waves, the strings of music are mathematical. And he's credited as being the father of Western music by many. And they're mathematicians now. They're called Pythagoreans, and they use the wave. And that's to think of the wave. And that's the string theory. It's all about it's part of Pythagoras, and it's evolved now into string theory. And I always say, I've said for years that mathematics is the language of the universe, but music is the language of the soul. But now, when you think about it, think about Pythagoras and string theory and all of this, they're the same. Music and mathematics, it's the same. They're all the same. There you go. You heard that first. That's another first. I don't know. I'm just making that up, I guess, but it's true. No, I'm not making it up. It's true. So that's one of the things we need to talk about, I guess, and think about. But let's get to Gabriel's Trumpet now. Okay. Now, in the ancient times, before a big event, or before the king or their emperor would make a proclamation, they'd sound the trumpets. They go, here comes the king, he's got something important to say. They'd sound the trumpets. And if you watch Ben-Hur, if you remember Ben-Hur, the old guys, before the famous chariot race, they sound the trumpets. And if you think about Star Wars and the famous pod race, when you watch that, you can hear they're sounding the trumpets. The trumpets are a big deal. And so don't make light of this music stuff and this sound. But at any rate, the Apostle John, while imprisoned on the Roman island of Patmos, wrote the book Revelations. It's a book of the Bible, Revelations. Now, Revelations is about the end times. And during the end times, we hear about the 7 seals and the 7 trumpets. The first 6 trumpets are bad. They're of destruction. They're about disease and famine and earth changes, war. It's bad. It's bad. But the 7th trumpet is a glorious trumpet. It's a good trumpet. When we hear the 7th trumpet, it's going to proclaim the second coming of Jesus. All of Jesus' people are going to be brought up to heaven. And we hear that trumpet. Now, the question is, who blows the trumpet? Who sounds the trumpet? Now, if you talk to 100 people on the street, random people, ask them, well, who blows the final trumpet? 90% are not going to have a clue. They don't know what you're talking about. Others might say, well, there's no trumpet. It's all a metaphor. Nobody's blowing trumpets. Others may say, why, it's the Archangel Gabriel. He's going to blow the trumpet. And if you talk to a biblical scholar, he's going to tell you, nowhere in the Bible do we know who blows the trumpet. There's nothing there that tells us. Folks, I'm telling you here today that I think Gabriel's going to blow that trumpet, okay? And, here's the deal. I'm not a biblical scholar. I'm not a mathematician or physicist, or I'm not even a legitimate potter. Okay, you know that. So, but what I am is a philosopher. Peggy's right. I'm a philosopher, and I'm a dreamer. I can do these things. I can say these things, and I don't have to be accounted for it. That's what I do. I dream. And so in my dream, I'm saying that Gabriel blows a trumpet. That's my get out of jail free card. I can do what I want. But I think I might have a good clue, and I feel pretty good about it. But here's the important thing. And before I do that, there's a thing I wanted to tell you about, and it's very important, dealing with sound. Oh my gosh, why did I forget this? Here, I'm going to just show something very good, very interesting about sound. Take a look at this, or take a listen. I'm going to play a chord for you. That's an E chord. It makes you feel good, bright, sharp, feels good. Oh, did you hear that? I just moved one finger. One of those notes changed. It changed from to a romantic kind of sad thing. We all felt it. You felt it. I can feel it every time I do it. I can feel it. We're all humans. We're connected. We're wired to this. We can feel that. Everybody in the world, regardless of race, color, creed, everybody, Africa, China, Mexico, we're all here. We're all human. Ah, you probably knew that, but you didn't know it. It's amazing. It's so amazing. It's all part of sound, a part of our mind, our soul. We can feel it. We can hear it in our ears. Our chemistry, biochemistry. We can hear it in our heart. We can hear it, the change in our soul. And this is what we talk about. This is what Gabriel's Trumpet is all about to me. Because when we hear Gabriel's Trumpet, when we hear it sound, the seventh final trumpet, we're heading up there, folks. And what it's going to sound like. What's it going to sound like? It's going to be kind of like this. It's going to be like the most beautiful song you ever heard. It's going to be the most incredible note, tribute. It's going to be amazing. When we hear it, we'll hear it across the universe. Everybody's going to hear it across the universe. And that's Gabriel's Trumpet. Okay, there, that's my license to be weird, okay? Now, I think we pretty much ended this up. I didn't do as well on my guitar musicianship. I mean, I played really good in my studio, but when you get out in front of people live, when you're live action, it's hard to do it. So I'm going to close here with this. I have just a few things to say. Thank you for watching my videos. I have more to come, I hope, although this thing has taken a lot out of me. I tell you, this has taken me months to do this because I've had to build it and rebuild it and back or drop it, fix it, drop it, fix it. But it's taken a lot out of me. It's a drain, and I need to take a little bit of a hiatus and maybe come back in a little while, but I think I'll be back. And if you enjoy these videos, stay tuned. And I like to close with a song. Very great song and songwriting, just the introduction to the song. And I'm going to try to play it as best I can, keep calm. Let's see what I can do here. This is the great John Lennon's, the title of the song is Across the Universe. Whew, how about that? Okay, here we go. Oh my word. I'm going to give it one more try. would help if my guitar was in tune, okay? I'm sorry. Oh, this is not good. But that's it. It's live. This is what it's like when it's live. The camera keeps rolling. Okay. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time, okay?